Welcome to Smackdown, one day before Survivor Series. I'm going to tell you this. Was this show meaning something? It did have one premise, and that was about one thing, and you already see the title. Generally, that's what it was all about. Yeah, we did have the beginning of the show, what happened with Becky, and I'll get that to in a moment. But we already know what this was all about. This is about one person, that's Sami. But let's elaborate on everything else. They did elaborate more on the SmackDown World Cup leading into that match that will lead to eventually Gunther. I'd rather hear him as Walter. I don't know why they're still using Gunther. But let's do the opening of the show. We got both teams for the War Games match, from the Bayley's team to the Bianca team, and we finally find out who the new person is, and it's Becky. I knew it either was going to be Becky or Charlotte. So, there you go. It was Becky. Now, was this a good choice? Yeah. Becky still loved, and the fight afterward was fine. Now the question's going to be, how well can Becky function in a War Games match after 4 months of rehabbing and fixing her shoulder? That's going to be the big question. Now, next, the Bray Wyatt segment, talking about what happened with the wonderful LA Knight, and I'm going like, LA Knight, who should be spotlighted, is being used as a footnote for a Bray Wyatt, which angers me. Look, I still think Bray's story arc is going to be a good one. I do. I do believe it's going to be a good story arc. But you had to use LA Knight to do it. You use LA Knight, someone that everyone realizes is that good. When I first saw LA Knight as Eli Drake, no one liked him much. No one wanted to talk about him much when he was in TNA, which became Impact Wrestling. I knew he was something. He just needed more seasoning as a ring general. He had it all. Now, finally, he was beginning to get a spotlight, breaking away from the maximum male models. And now what is he doing? Is he going to join Bray Wyatt? No. What is he doing? He just got his ass whooped last Friday. I couldn't see it because I was doing the review for Overdrive. So I did not see that episode of him getting his butt whooped. In other words, getting buried under a whole bunch of junk. So for me, it pisses me off that LA Knight, who could be doing something good, is not. And I don't know about JD. I don't know about Just Alex. If they're happy with it or they're not happy with it, that's them. Me, I am not happy seeing LA Knight getting destroyed like this. He should be something more than being used as a prop for Bray Wyatt. Now, mind you, is the building for Bray Wyatt good? Yeah, he is. And he did talk very well. He said, look, I did not want to hurt him. Way I heard him before, I apologize. I even gave him a chance to understand what he would be dealing with. But I did not do this. And then Uncle Horny shows up, pretty much says what he said. Now, mind you, does it work? Yes, it does work. But I'm not going to tell you that I'm happy to see Bray Wyatt dealing with an LA Knight. And LA Knight needs to be built up. How is he going to get built up with a Bray Wyatt who's on a rise that's about to turn, and he's going to be destroyed by him? I would be very surprised if LA Knight got anything out of this. LA Knight is LA Knight, and he's not the type of person that should be in this type of situation. I don't think he's going to get over. Now, mind you, I could be wrong. I'm not brainless. This could still turn in LA Knight's favor if, and that's if, Triple H is going to book it correctly. Because this is still a big question of LA Knight getting over here along with Bray Wyatt. Because this could only be about Bray destroying LA Knight on his rise going up. And if anybody says, oh, this won't hurt LA Knight, yes, it will. Because he was working with Maximum Male Model. He was working with the Maximum Male Models. He was just beginning. And now he's doing this. He better not get buried. Because if he does, I will rant. And if JD accepts it and just Alex accepts it, so Bray Wyatt can go up, I think that's garbage. For me personally, that's garbage. For them, I understand them. They've been reviewing longer than me. They have more of an influence than me. And maybe they might be right. It won't hurt. But as far as I'm concerned, seeing that, I do not agree in. And if he does get buried, that pisses my ass off. If they agree with it, that'll piss me off even more. But it doesn't mean, and understand what I'm saying, I don't disrespect them. I don't hate them. I just don't agree with them. I won't agree. Doesn't mean I don't respect their point of view. That's the way they think. Cool. For me personally, I do not agree. Let's move on. Viking Raiders versus Hit Row. Guys, look, Adonis, I understand. B-Fab, I understand. If Swerve Strickland was still with them, you have Adonis with Swerve and B-Fab, that looks like a combination that worked great. But you have... I don't get Top Dollar. I don't get it. When you look at the primetime players, how they worked, even though Titus O'Neil wasn't perfect, you could tell how he was. He could do decent work in the ring. He had a great gift for gab. He had a great look. When you look at the Street Profits, you see him getting angry, the Street Profits, and Angelo Dawkins, looks great. When you see how his partner is, which I think he's still in the boot, he's fine. But when I look at Top Dollar, I don't see it. It's not that I don't think he can talk. And it's not like I don't see that he can't wrestle. But being in Hit Row, I don't see it. I can understand him being a hype man, kind of like Trick Williams. But as a competitor, working with Adonis, I don't get it. Like I said, I don't see the appeal of him. I just don't. He's like another big guy that needs to be doing something else. I'm just saying. It doesn't mean he can't get something done. It just feels like he shouldn't be doing it. In the end, this was about the Viking Raiders and seeing Valhalla, the former Sarah Logan. I can buy her as Valhalla. And pretty much, I didn't expect them to win. I expected Hit Row to get destroyed, and they did. I kind of wish it had been about Top Dollar instead of Adonis getting nailed like that. I'd rather see Top Dollar. I just didn't. I didn't like that. That's just me, guys, and below. Another match of the first match for the Smackdown World Cup. And that was Butch versus Santo Escobar of Legado El Fantasma. Finally, I'm beginning to get that name. I always have a problem with it. But, was it a good match? Yeah. But I wasn't sure Butch was going to get into it. I don't think he should. I'm sure Santo had to. And he did. It was help that got him. It was, what was it? El Bistio. I believe that's his name. No, El Toro. Sorry. El Toro helped him out along with the other one. But in the end, he did win. And it was a good match. I did enjoy it. I did. But I didn't expect Butch to win. I just didn't expect Butch to win. Because he's going to go into the War Games thing. He had to. So he had to lose. Now, the next match, which I'm going like, really? Braun Strowman versus Ricochet for the next spot, which will be in the finals. I did not expect Braun to win. I didn't expect it. I had a feeling there was no way they're going to let Braun win. Even though it looks like he should win. I'm being honest here. Braun should have won to be the one to go up against Gunther. But they decided it should be Ricochet. And I'm sure everybody else was happy about it. And I'm going like, you know what? Both of them are pretty popular at this point. Both of them had reached a point where one of them had to get over. So Ricochet's the one that won it. But then what is going to happen with Braun? So when Imperium interfered, because they were all outside, Imperium was outside along with Gunther, and it looked like that was the reason why there was a distraction so Ricochet could win. There you go. But then once they started beating down Braun, and then Ricochet decided, I can't leave it. I can't leave him like that. Even if he had an attitude with me, not liking flippy guys, he runs back in the ring and tries to save him, and it's Braun who saves him instead of him saving Braun. You would expect Braun to maybe destroy him, but he doesn't. He helps him up, shows him respect. Now, mind you, there's a reason why that happened, because of how Braun acted before about his Twitter, and I believe either Instagram and Twitter, saying that flippy guys are kind of stupid. Watch out for the real wrestlers like himself. He looked like a moron. So this was kind of a thing that kind of redeemed him a little bit, showing a little bit of respect to a flippy guy. Now, I'm not saying that Braun really thinks guys who do aerial is total crap. At least, not unless he's absolutely a moron, because after going on the indies, he knows they're more popular than him and probably got more money than him. But, hopefully, he was kind of dumb. People make stupid mistakes. I know I've made tons of them. So, hopefully, after this situation and this, he learned a lesson like, it doesn't make a difference if you flip, you kick, or whatever, even if I'm not liking it, or someone else may not like it, someone else is going to like it, and we try to put it over as long as it makes money, as long as I like myself. If people like strength like me, or size like me, and the flippy kicky guys understand that I need to get over, and they do the job, show them respect, let's make some money. There you go. Now, we got, did I believe Chelsea Blackheart versus Ronda and Shayna Baszler, mostly due to the fact Raquel gets her ass whooped beforehand and the arm get jammed inside of a trunk. Do I believe that was necessary? Yeah. Honestly, I do believe it because of how Chelsea Blackheart has been. Because they needed to make her fully emotional, as an emotional creature. Same thing for men. Men can be emotional creatures just like women. She is driven by emotion. That is how she's been booked. And they had to go there. The end of that match, when Raquel finally came from the back because she was injured and tried to help, and she got in the armbar and pretty much had to tap. And that just pissed off even more. Her talk at the end of it, about 5 minutes afterwards, talking with, I'll give it to like this. Her interview afterward, I really do believe was one of the better interviews that she's done, making it very clear. Raquel is one of the few people I know have my back, and I've always been bullied. Well, I've been bullied. I've never had someone on my back. Raquel is one of the few people that's ever done it, and I can respect about her, and I just saw her get hurt, and she made it very clear. Shayna, your girl is going to get whooped. And Ronda, I'm going to rip you apart piece by piece. Was it effective? Yes. Was it very dramatic? No. I think she needs more work with that, but it doesn't mean it wasn't effective. For me personally, it worked. Because it was effective. Not really emotional driven, but technically passable. Final match. And that is the advantage match for War Games. Who is going to have the advantage? It's going to be Usos versus Drew and Sheamus. Now, beforehand, we saw a little bit of Kevin talking with a little bit of Sami. And Sami's trying to tell him to get away from me before he's about to go in the bloodline because he was late coming in. And Kevin's trying to talk to him. Mess with his head. But also mess with his heart. Because even though they've always had some type of problem, Kevin has always been in Sami's corner. At least until what he just said, saying, after all these years, how you've always gotten yourself in trouble, even if it wasn't on purpose, that you said something stupid, that you weren't trying to piss someone off. Who was the one who had to bail you out? Me. Now, what's going to happen when you piss off Roman? What are you going to do? And he made it very clear. And Jay is looking not right at them. He's got the door open, and Sami is not looking, but I'm sure that Kevin knew that he was being heard because he saw the door open. It was obvious. He made it very clear. What happens when Roman gets pissed off? What are you going to do when that happens? I would strike first before they would strike me. He's trying to mess with Sami. It's obvious. But he's also trying to be helpful to Sami, which was obvious. And then he finally leaves, and he's questioned by Jay. Jay has never trusted him. Jay still don't trust him. And he tells Jimmy the same thing. And when the match happens, which was an okay match, they were confronting each other. And that's Sami and Kevin. Sami wanted to use the title, the tag titles, one of them, to try and whack I think it was Drew in the ring. And he is being stopped by Kevin, and he's saying, "What are you doing?" He said, "Get out of my way." He said, "Think about what you're about to do. Think about it." And he shoves him back. He tries to get into the ring with the title. The ref sees him, and he's ejected. And because of it, the Usos lose. And now they're about to go into War Games, and they're going to be they don't have the advantage. They're not going to get the advantage. So the question is going to be simply, how long will it be before Sami really messes up and Roman takes his head off? That's at least the way they're trying to book it. Doesn't mean it'll happen. I don't know. It will be interesting no matter what happens, if he becomes an actual Uso or if he's going to actually get destroyed by a Roman Reigns. I'll say this wasn't a bad show, but I'm going to tell you this. When it comes down to it, am I hyped for Survivor Series? No, I'm not. Honestly, I'm not hyped. Does it mean it'll be a bad show? No. I'm not doing predictions. I don't do them. But I am going to give this thought. They better really bring their A game when it comes to Survivor Series, because they have been having lackluster for years. Years. This War Games must mean something for the women and for the men, because it is going to make them break the show. Nothing else is going to make them break the show. Nothing. You think it's going to be about Brock Lesnar. You think it's going to be about Bobby Lashley. You think it's going to be about anything else. No. It's going to be the War Game matches. These two matches must mean something. They must have a special outcome at the end. Now, as far as I understand, Charlotte's not coming back yet, but you never know, Charlotte may show up, and that may change everything for the War Games afterward. Because when Charlotte finally comes back, because she's been almost gone for nearly 8 months to near a year. I can't remember how many months it's been for her. It's been months, so many months. I think nearly 8 to 9 or 10 months since she's been gone. I can't remember. She could be gone 6 or it could be near 10. But you never know that she may show up. And when it comes to the men's War Games, they got to hit it 100% on the head. It's got to be good. It's got to mean something, particularly afterward. Do I believe that Roman is going to get pissed at Sami? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be about Sami pissing off Roman, or it's going to be showing that Sami is going to save the match and Roman makes him a full Uso on the next Smackdown. I don't know. I just know that they need to hit it out of the park. They need to hit it square in the head and get it right the first time, because if this show is crap, people are going to start looking at Triple H. And I've been saying this for quite a while. Unlike just Alex and JD, I've said this from the beginning. Be wary of how WWE is going to be run, how the shows are. It's not a year yet. Don't believe anything. There could still be problems in the back. There could be some type of issue that is going to make the WWE have problems. The shows for the last couple of months, they were great at one point for most people, but then it's been going up and down, up and down, up and down, down. I'm not saying this. Look at it for yourself, for everybody else's review. Some people liked it. Some people said some of the shows have been crap. Some people say a lot of the shows have been near okay to maybe somewhat boring. I'm only telling you what I thought. Peace.